Okay guys, so we're almost at the top of Brown Mountain and what is referred to as a Ken Burton trailhead, and I will show you where that is. But it's a lot of the same type of trail conditions as lower Brown Mountain, except up here I think it's a little more rugged in some sections and a lot more smoother in other sections like I just showed you. So just depends on the section, and you know, you get a little mixture of both. With a hardtail, I feel that you're adequately biked for this trail, but I would say most people will climb up here on a trail bike, which is, you know, a short travel or medium travel full suspension bike with 130, maybe 140, and that's a lot of people, that's their only bike. They got into biking and picked up that bike, or maybe their first bike was a hardtail, but they were just seeing if they liked it, and then they quickly got a full suspension and built up a nice, or bought a fully built full suspension. And I would say if you're going to buy a full suspension and you are riding trails like this, anything from a 120 and 130, 140 range is perfect. I wouldn't suggest you get longer travel like a 160 or 170 unless you were going to also use it for, you have maybe some rougher trails and steeper trails and chunkier stuff than this. I'm bouncing all over the place because I'm on hardtail, plus I need a lot of little air out of my tires, but it is doable on a hardtail and I like it. I like the connected feel of a hardtail, and that's why even after owning FXR, which is a great full suspension, and a Trek Remedy, another great full suspension, when I got into 29ers, I realized that with a 29er wheel that a hardtail is not that bad, and the 29er wheels made a game-changing decision for my thoughts about what kind of bike I need for my trails. This bike does get 275 plus wheels put on it sometimes, and that 275 plus wheel set is just a little bit wider than this, because this is a really wide 29er wheel set, but it does add a little bit of girth to the rims, going 5 millimeters wider, and then it also has 2.8 tires, sometimes even 3-inch tires, which really make a difference on kind of loose off camber stuff, and when you're going around switchbacks and stuff like that, you're a little bit lower to the ground and can take a tighter switchback than you normally would. I've also done mullet. I like that too, and I would say for the most part I would probably, these days I wouldn't go all the way to a 275 if I was going to get a different bike I would just do a mullet full suspension or a full 29er. Probably wouldn't do a 275 full suspension just because I like having a bigger 29er up front. I think the 29er just has so much advantage, and as long as you're fine. Some people like having a 27.5 front wheel. It makes the bike not as long. It makes it less wagon wheel is what the term you might hear of. So less wagon wheel feel. So that's the reason they like it. And I know what you're talking about, that wagon wheel feel. But I think if you get to know how to ride your trails without so much turning and more leaning, you won't have that wagon wheel effect that often, because most turns you just lean into. You don't really turn your tires as much as lean your whole bike, and you're just like your skis. When you're skiing, you're not turning your skis, you're leaning, and leaning with your knees, and that's how you're turning, is the glide. So try to think of gliding on your bike in the same fashion. So here we are, and I'll show you the monument. So they made this little cutoff trail here that we can get over to the Ken Burton monument. Look how beautiful that is, you guys. So beautiful outside today. Happy Thanksgiving. So here we are. This is the monument, and I'm going to set my bike down because it actually fell down earlier when I was at the saddle. So here is the Ken Burton monument, and I guess he was a firefighter for the Forest Service, and this is the beautiful view. So out there is that's over towards La Cañada, Flint Ridge area. Way off in the distance, that is, I believe that's Glendale. I don't think that's downtown LA. I think downtown LA is a little down further. I believe that's downtown. That's in Glendale. But it might be, maybe Glendale's over there. I don't know. You know, I come up to the mountains. I enjoy being out here, and I don't know as many landmarks or anything like that. This is up here is when you go up, and there's a trail up there called Colby Canyon, and we used to call that trail the Enchanted Forest. There was an area of that trail where you're going through, and the branches are like that, and you felt like you were in Star Wars going through the forest with those, what were those little animals called? I forget what they were called. They look like little bears. I'm not a Star Wars aficionado, I guess. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll give you some more video later.